They said it's not an accident. We hired them, and although they did poor contracting work, it is technically not an accident, and they will not cover it. They did offer sending a letter out to Kg&T, but they said it had no backbone or teeth to it. At this point, I don't want to look like a joke to Kg&T. I'm already struggling hard enough, so I opted not to send out a pointless letter from iCrimp. But iCrimp did say they reviewed everything and said that we have a very valid claim and that our attorneys should be all over it. And if our attorneys are not all over it, then we should be looking at a different attorney.
We are.
So I sent out an email to our attorney and I copied in some of the owners of the law firm, and I got a response miraculously within minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, basically my email was in the tone of, I've sent this on this date, nothing, this on this, nothing, this on this date, nothing. Long story short, I have a phone call meeting at 10 a.m. You're welcome to join in if you like.
What day?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m. I was going to be working from home, but I can absolutely come into the office and make that phone call because I always love having more board members informed in there. And so I have a phone call with the attorneys tomorrow. Also, we got a response from Kg&T's attorneys today around, I don't know what time, anywho. And I forwarded it to you and Paul. But basically, the Kg&T stated that they've talked with a couple of different engineers, and Olson Engineering said that it could be a very long drawn out process, and he couldn't guarantee that he could provide answers. He recommended that Bayview find all of our tank information and take it to an engineer of ours to see if we can find an engineer. Then basically Kg&T's recommendation, or Kg&T's final argument was that they that Kg&T provide recommendations to, or I'm sorry, that we find an engineer that would work with them and provide documents for a structural engineer to make their judgment, and that basically they would accept a warranty from Kg&T for the next 5 years if the tank fails. I mean, it's cute in my opinion. So the liability, if it does fail, is the most important part to the district, not the cost of whether a tank is done. What I plan on discussing with our engineer or our lawyer tomorrow is basically having them bond it, have somebody assess how much it's going to be, and if 10 years it fails, then at least, you know, if Kg&T goes out of business, you know, what does that 5-year warranty get us at that point? But if you're bonding towards it in an amount and somebody...
But bonds are only good, they'll be like a series of 1-year bonds, and if they don't pay it, it's gone, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really had much time to think about any of it. I'm just trying to prepare for
this just
the
came.
attorney.
This just
Yeah,
came.
this all just came, and I'm trying to prepare because I don't know. It's not. I don't know why we don't just have it replaced.
Well, so there's a couple things going on there. The tank belongs to us. If the tank wasn't traffic rated, that's on us, not on Kg&T. Their repair was, they made it worse. I think demonstrably. You cutting another hole in it just made it worse. But this engineering solution, as an engineer, I think is really straightforward and cheap. I think we're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Just pay to have
And
an
we
engineer.
just need to have our engineer on staff. We pay him, do a slab over an isolated slab down about halfway over the whole septic tank. Basically cushions it from any loads over the top because it's not a load rated septic tank and it's in a parking lot. And that distributes the load. Then we put a soft since we don't want that load transfer down with the pipe, the vertical pipe, put a soft pipe on the first part of it, hard pipe on the top part of it, and it's done. Yes, it'll cost, with the current rates, you know, I would predict 5,000, but, and it would be inconvenient to Rouse, so we wanna get in and get it done on a days closed. But it could be probably done in 1 or 2 days. I just think we're making, it's a problem, we need to take care of it, but
It's not really that big of a problem. The biggest problem that we're having with this is how much time and discussion that we've had about this.
and it was a
who's gonna
problem
do
we didn't
what.
know about.
Right.
Kg&T only made it, basically brought it to the attention, made it worse.
Yes.
But it was an original problem to when they built the project.
If we have to, I mean, then take whatever we get for receipts and then go to, if we're gonna go to Kg&T and say, you know, you created this.
Yeah, we can make some money back or something.
Something, but to get through this, cause otherwise it's just gonna continue doing the same thing over and over again.
What would happen if we needed access to it the same as supposedly we needed this time?
Well, I think there's 2 accesses now. We would actually do 2 accesses. They've already done that part of the work. It would get destroyed, but there's already a hole there. You're not gonna patch the hole, just use that hole. You got 2 accesses, bring 2 pipes up.
I can see it in my mind, it's pretty simple, it's not that big of a
I
deal.
mean, it's a square hole.
Is there engineering and
And
is
the
the
other
structural
one is
engineer
already
gonna map
covered.
everything out? No, they're actually not.
No.
But we could easily do some pressure, some soil pressure analysis and go, okay, the tank can take this much. And we're gonna distribute that load, and we're taking a concrete slab of probably 10 foot by 10 foot by 6 inches thick. We're not
Yeah.
talking rocket science here.
Yeah.
There will be some digging, we'll have to pour and,
You have to dig a hole big enough to make it. And I'm not sure what the actual dimensions of the tank are. They're somewhere out there, but it's not a huge tank.
no.
It's like a 500 gallon tank or 1,000.
No, I think it's like
No,
5,
the 12,000.
Yeah, it's
You're talking Rouse, probably 15.
1,200.
15?
1,500, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's still not huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, we don't know that we have a problem.
It could last 40 years. You could have a big truck pull in there and have it fall through.
Have you seen their parking lot?
Yeah, I go in there on occasion.
Not very big,
But you could have a big,
yeah.
some big truck. He doesn't get a lot of trucks in there, but you could have a big heavy truck go in there and back up and.
our liability is knowing that, we know that it's not the way it needs to be, or should be.
Yeah.
It's not the way it should be.
And it's deep.
And if we walk away from that and just say, don't mind it, it'll be fine, the liability is on us if something were to fall, cave in, sink. I mean, we would be negligent because we willingly, turned away from it.
What would be the cost if it did happen of just replacing the tank with a suitable tank?
Well, that'd be
A lot
more
more work.
than have an engineer approve and just,
You have to dig the whole thing out, down probably 10 feet deep.
But aren't these drive over tanks already engineered?
Yeah, but they'll be 20 grand. They're not gonna be cheap.
Yeah,
Not gonna be cheap.
yeah, I don't know, we just have to get estimates. We've not, to this point, we've not replaced any tanks. Yeah, that's already been in service for the 30 years we've been there or whatnot. Pretty
And
much.
we've got a zillion tanks out there
Mhm.
that if a ready mix truck is asked to back up and he doesn't know there's a tank there, because they're always looking for them, but it's a sewered city, so we don't
Right.
usually ask, quite frankly.
right,
Uh,
you wouldn't expect the look.
We don't get near as many trucks falling through septic tanks as we used to, but we still find them. Oh, we didn't know there was a tank there. And there's liability there too, right? Now, nobody ever offers to pay for our truck, but
So basically, just because I wanna be clear, you're suggesting we lick our wounds, move on, solve the problem, stop another 6 or 8 months of discussing this KG&T mess, spending a bunch of money on lawyers, and a bunch of money on whole new engineering plans and everything else that we just,
And I
Get her
didn't,
done.
I didn't just go into Kg&T and have them do the work and go, you know what, you need to give us a little discount on this
Yeah.
one, put it all to bed.
the question is, will they do the work for us at this point when we become so in conflict?
Well, they probably wanna get rid of this whole thing too, I suspect.
And,
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you have to decide, would you rather be right or get what you want? And at this point, I think we wanna get what we want and move past this, because we have a lot of other issues
well,
to deal with.
but let's take into consideration that, Ralph's being shut down during a couple days of their busy season, we'd have to, I mean,
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say we do it right now.
Yeah.
Pick a fall day and when he's shut
Mhm.
down, run 5 days a week and I think he runs
or after the summer season.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I wouldn't interfere with his,
Yeah,
I wouldn't interfere with his summer season,
Yeah,
no, I don't think
And
that's.
people aren't in the laundromat as much and
Yeah.
that too, so.
Acknowledging that we know the problems there and acknowledging that we're working toward a remedy, a fix.
And if we don't dig the tank out, that means we don't disturb all that water flowing into it.
great.
And that doesn't disturb his business near as much, like the laundromat.
Right.
I think we have to talk to our engineer and
So,
that would be
I
efficient.
don't think there'd really be
Not for the
anything
project.